Good morning, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, good morning, Tati. How you doing?
I'm fine. I've been seeing your posts on Twitter about DERAD network, so I decided to call today. So I want to know more about the DERAD network, so I can actually explain it to my community because we are anticipating this project. So please, what is DERAD network all about?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So, the network, first of all, is a DePIn, a decentralized physical network project, which uses blockchain as a platform. But essentially, it's a technology that creates a platform to help keep aviation and air flights safer. What it does is very simple. There is a software called ADSB, which is Automatic Dependent Survey Broadcast, which coordinates and collects data from GPS and satellites. And how it works is that the aeroplane, when it moves, can get information from these satellites to know its altitude, to know its height, to know its speed and where it is at the moment. And then it can broadcast this in signal to ground stations, at airports and various other stakeholders. So through that information, the ground stations can track the aeroplane and understand where it is at the time, and they can also guide the pilots, to avoid collision from other aeroplanes and other airborne vehicles. Even nowadays where we have drones and we have other machines now flying, they all can use this ADSB coupled with what they call ZBAF. ZBAF is an AI. Now, the current technology is being operated generally by private contractors and the government. And many times, because it is expensive to run these ground stations, they usually focus their attention on cities and towns. And many times, rural areas don't get covered, which is not good for airplanes and aviation. So, what the network is doing is to create a platform where anybody can operate their own ground station to receive those signals, and then those who are in the rural areas can also operate ground stations. So in that case, the entire public can start running those stations and have the whole earth covered. So you can imagine maybe you are in a place like, let's say, you're traveling in between Lagos and Abuja. There are some areas where people are living, but there's no ground station there. With the RAD network, all those underserved areas will be covered, making planes better trackable and easier to avoid collision on real time. So, in a simplified form, that's what the RAD network is all about. I hope it's clear.
Okay. This ADSB is it only used in aviation?
Oh no, it's not in aviation. In the maritime industry, where ships need guidance and navigation, ADSB is already being used over there, even though in the early stages, but it's already being used to guide ships, especially in very busy harbors where there is a busy harbor. They use it to guide ships and move around. Also, ships that require to track aeroplanes for supply, they can also use ADSB to know where their supply is coming from. In logistics, those who transport goods and items, they can also use this ADSB data to at least schedule when their goods are going to arrive and be able to predict how soon they can receive and how the last customer can receive their package. Also, experimentally, it's being used in wildlife, for conservationists to track animals and know their whereabouts and all. A lot of places are being used. If you need real-time tracking and data, most likely you will need ADSB. But the DERAD network is using it for aviation at the moment when they start.
Okay. This how much will the device cost?
Okay. I mean, you mean to
The
ask
device
how community are going to participate and how they would benefit? All right.
before that, the device that we'll be using for mining this project, how much will it cost? Because I'm coming to that very question too. How much will the device cost?
Okay, at the moment, I can't give you a direct answer, but the DERAD network team have promised for that it won't be too expensive. We're looking at something in the range of maybe not more than $60, not more. If it's more than that, it won't be too much. It won't be too much, or the price will be too above $60 thereabouts. But the advantage with this is, number one, is way less costlier than what is currently being used. Number two is that anybody can operate it. It's designed in a way whereby as soon as you plug it, you can just press the button to start collecting data, and that's all. There's no need to start running any software extra or setup. You just plug and play. That's how easy it is. Once you have data, and once you have power to run it, and you have internet connectivity, you are good to go.
Okay, so how will the community participate and how will they benefit from this project?
Okay, so as mentioned earlier, one of the ways to participate is to get this device. There are going to be two ways to participate. One is to run the ground stations, which will require you to get the device. When you run the ground stations, you're going to be receiving signals from the network, from the ADSB transmitter, and you receive in your location covering that area, and then so you're going to be a ground station by if you have that device. Then the other way is to run a node, or a what they call processing node. I'm trying to get the correct word here, but data processing node. So when the ground stations receive the signal, they transmit this signal to the nodes. You can run that node on your phone. Your phone will process the data so that it can be useful for the airplane. So there are two ways to run it. You run it through your phone as a data processing network node, or you operate a ground station by purchasing a device. And how you benefit, there will be rewards through the DERAD token, which will be launched when the project matures. So just like any DePIn, as you run the node, you earn tokens. So you're going to earn the DERAD tokens. That's how you participate and you benefit from the project.
Okay, to my understanding, this explanation that you just gave, it means it will require a power supply, probably a 24 hours power supply. So now my question is, how will the device work in a rural area where they don't have 24-hour power supply?
Okay, first of all, if you're going to run a ground station, you will need access to regular power supply. It's going to be very important before you decide to run a ground station. However, if you already satisfy that requirement, you could have a trip off, and it may take a while before the power is restored. So the device is built in a way where it can sustain itself for a while before you restore power. But long and short, you need, for you to consider running a ground station, you must have access to stable and constant power supply. So it's important. That's part of what you must consider before you run a ground station. But if you have an emergency of power outage, device has power storage to carry itself for a while. I can't give the specific details right now, but that's part of the provision.
Okay, for the people that are in the rural area, they will have issue with running the ground station because of the power supply issue. Because at times we do go like 2 days, 3 days without light, so it will affect us. But we can use our phone, right?
Well, there are two different categories. Like I said, if you're running the ground station, you have to be online because you don't know when an airplane will require that information. So you have to be online every time for the ground station. But for the node, it's a different case. Just like any DePIn, you might go offline, but there are other nodes around. So, but of course, the more available you are to process the data or to run the ground station, the more rewards you can get. So it's a matter of planning and choice. But definitely, if you're running a ground station, it's important that you are online for as much as possible.
Okay, thank you very much for that explanation. So,
You're
when
welcome.
will the DERAD network launch so we that are anticipating rather, we can start mining?
Okay. It is expected to launch sometime Q1 into Q2. However, it is subject to change. But there has been a campaign for a few weeks now, and while I can't give you definite answer, but I expect that within the end of this Q1 and into Q2, we should get a very concrete announcement from the DERAD team. So all I will say is those who are interested in running the ground station should get ready, keep some money aside, and those who are also ready, who are interested in running data processing nodes, should also have it in mind and be prepared. But it's going to be a big project. That's one thing that's certain, because it's providing real value, real value to real people, to a real market that's already existing, and they want the data. There are many companies that want this data. Government, private companies, airlines, logistic companies. The market is really, really big. So it's a product that is not only viable, and not only that, it brings you to participate in something that helps mankind, but it's also a good business. So for those who want to run with the project, it's a good one. So get ready and just be prepared.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the explanation. And please, now I understand what I am anticipating. So I will know how to talk to my community about it. So we all are waiting to the DERAD network. Thank you so much, Mr. Collins. Time I'll be asking more questions concerning this project. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.